Hello, this is Scholar Strife doing some math today. In geometry, we look at volume of prisms and cylinder. A volume, so first off, let's think about area. Area we broke into little squares, and then we counted up all the squares. For volume, we're going to make little cubes and see how many cubes we can fit in the object. The volume of any cube is equal to any of its sides, or to its side length to the third power. So its side length cubed. If two polyhedra are congruent, then their volumes are congruent. We can add volumes together. So like say if we wanted to find the volume of this cone, and then we have a volume, and then we have a pyramid sitting on top of it, we would just add them together. Or something like that. If we have a cube on like a house, you can add the volume of the pyramid, or the pyramid on the roof, and then volume of the box. Volume of the prism is the area of the base times height. If we have a rectangular prism, then it's just length times width times height. Length times width times height. If we have a cylinder, it's area of the base times height, which is pi r squared times height. So if two solids have the same height, and have the same area for their base, then they will have the same volume. So let's do some examples here. Find the present volume of find the volume of each solid, but we must first find the area of the base. Okay, first off, we need to remember what a base is. Base is there's only two of. So the base is not what it's sitting on. It's actually this triangle here. So this is the base. These are the bases because there's only two of them. So our formula goes like this. Volume equals the area of the base times height. So the area of the base is a triangle, so 1/2 little b times the height of the triangle times the height of the object. So I put two different h's in there. Let's call this height of the triangle there times the height. So this will be equal to 1/2 3 times 1 times this height here of the object 2. So this would give me 3. This would be 3 cubic feet. A right cylinder, so area of the base times height. So area of the base is a circle, so pi r squared times height. So I have 25 times 6 times pi, which is 150 pi cubic meters. The volume of a right cylinder is 1,253 cubic centimeters. Find the value of x. So they want to find the radius. So volume of the cylinder is area of the base times height, which is pi r squared times height. Okay, so if I plug this in, volume, which is 1,253, equals pi times r squared times 10. Okay, I'm going to take that 1253 and divide by 10 pi. That'll get rid of the 10 and the pi on the right side. So r squared is going to equal 1,253 over 10 pi. Take the square root, and we'll get about 2 centimeters for our radius there. Alright, if we have a box, we can just do, it still follows the same formula, area of the base times height, but in this case I can just do length times width times height, which is 11 times 4 times 5, which is 220 cubic centimeters. Here, still area of the base times height, so pi r squared times height. So this is 6 times 6 is 36 pi times 9, which is 324 pi cubic feet. Find the value of x if the volume of the cylinder is 200 pi. Okay, so they want to find the diameter. So we're going to have to use our formula to find the radius. Because our formula goes like this. Volume equals pi r squared times height. Okay, so we have 200 pi equals h is 8 pi times r squared. Divide both sides by 8 pi. And we'll get r squared equals 1 second. 200 divided by 8, 25. So r squared is 25. Take the square root. R is 5. That's the radius. So the diameter, which is x. Diameter, which is x, is 2 times that, which is 10 centimeters. Okay, find the volume of the oblique cylinder. So this is still area of the base times height for volume. So volume equals pi r squared times height, which is 25 pi times 8, which is 200 pi. Cubic inches. So we want to find the volume of a solid that has a hole drilled through it. Okay? So what we're going to do is take the total volume and subtract the small cylinder. So take the big cylinder minus the small cylinder. So the volume of the big is pi r squared. So pi times 3 squared times height, which is 7. Okay. Volume of the small is pi times 1 squared times 7. So this one here, I have 63 pi. And the small, I have 7 pi. 63 minus 7 pi is 56 pi cubic millimeters. Alright, let's do these. Okay, we have a diameter of 12, so my radius is 6. Ah. So they're trying to trick us here because they tell us that this is 18. We need the height of the cylinder. So to find that, we notice that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this value here would be 9, and this value would be 9 root 3. Now that we have all that, volume equals pi r squared times height. So this is going to be 324 times the square root of 3 times pi millimeters, or cubic millimeters. Punch that in your calculator. 324 times square root of 3, close parentheses, times pi. Or 324 times pi times square root of 3. Alright. So here, we're going to need to get the volume of the box. So the volume of the box plus the volume of the half cylinder. So box is easy. It's just 4 times 4 times 4, so 4 cubed, plus 1/2 of a cylinder. So pi times r, which happens to be 2, because this whole side length is 4, so half of it is 2. Squared. Pull times the height, which happens to be 4, yeah. So I have 64 plus, so 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, half of that is 8 pi. Punch this in our calculator. 64 plus 8 times pi is 89.1 cubic inches. Hopefully this helped you out. Have a good